Welcome to Elite Desert Caravan. Now I want to go over equipment and spells and stuff before I step in because this quest does start right away. First thing I want to mention is the wolf collar. I didn't mention this last video, but at level 12 I go with the vampiric stone dust hand wraps that are converted to a collar. Very, very nice collar for your wolf starting at level 12, and I'll be using this up until level 18 when I use the rack wraps out of Hound of Zoriat raid. I love these wraps for the wolf. One of the great features is it has the lesser vampirism on it, which helps to keep your wolf more survivable. And it also has stunning +6, stone prism on it. It can you can stone your mobs, so the wolf can stone the enemies with that. And it's just I think it's a really good all-around weapon to have on the wolf at this point. Now, if you play Druid, you know that you cannot easily switch out your collar. It does take, it's not something you can hotbar, so I just put that on there and leave it on there. And I'm really happy with its performance. The armor is the same. It's the Faycraft leather with just a +5 in invulnerability. And then for enhancements, I've now worked up to the Evasion Wolf, which you can get at level 13. Also got Lupine Onslaught and Opportunistic Bite 1 and 2. Got the Striding going all the way up to Striding 3, and Wolfpack Bite 3, very important to get that. For gearing, do have quite a few gearing changes. This is the same. I wanted to mention, I didn't mention last time, they do have the Eldritch Resistance ritual on the green steel goggles. So that's a ritual that you can do at the Stone of Change, which, there's one of those in the market. And in the 12, there might be one on your ship too. That's basically it's a nice freebie ritual. It's an extra +1 to your saves for basically free. It's not taking up any extra space, so the ingredients for that are a little expensive, but if you can afford it, go for it. But because it is expensive, I would only recommend doing it to a piece of gear that you will be wearing at least somewhat longer term. And got this twink armor still. Got the spell resistance 25, resistance 5, with the Midwinter Festival Glaciation 66 on it. Like I mentioned before, sadly, these greater warding armors are not in the loot tables anymore. Got the level 15 version of Bracers of Wind now, and I've got Shard of Masterful Craftsmanship on there, so it brings it down to level 13. So that's Magnetism 90 at level 13. That is absolutely huge. And I want to emphasize that you do have to upgrade it to Tier 3 before it becomes craftable, allowing you to put the Shard of Masterful Craftsmanship on there. You can also put low-level shards on there as well, like melee alacrity, feather falling, things like that. That will raise the level, so I don't have anything extra crafted on there right now. This version has the dodge 6% and air guard over the previous version. So very nice additions there. I got a little creative with the crafting here, so I just had the Ring of Greater False Life before, but now I have the Greater False Life crafted onto a ring with 2 slots. So I have Strength +4 and Charisma +4 put on there. That's a pretty nice little item. The slots that they added to random loot just make the options for crafting so much more huge. Pretty awesome. And still got the Boots of Fire Absorption 33% with Feather Falling. At level 15, I'll put Evocation Focus 2 on there. Got the Vile Blasphemy now. This is a really nice set of TR gloves to actually wear. Dexterity 6, use Magic Device +3, and the Greater Dispelling Guard. And then even when you're not wearing that anymore, it's one of the best spell point clickies in the game. And what makes it particularly awesome is that it's not exclusive. So you can see I have 5 of these. This comes out of the Abbot raid. Now, I know what you're thinking. I hate Abbot. Well, if you're on Sarlona, I love Abbot. So come and join our Tuesday night Abbott Fest, and you will learn to love Abbott. You'll be like, no, I hate Abbott. It's the stupidest raid ever. Trust me. Come to my Abbott's, and I promise you'll love it. And you'll be like, Abbott's the greatest raid ever. I had no idea Abbott could be so much fun. There's information about our Tuesday night Abbotts on the Sarlona forums, by the way. So let's see. Moving on to the ring. So last video, I just had Evocation Focus 1 with Ice Lore 5. But now that I'm level 13, I did the same thing, crafted onto a ring with a colorless slot that I've added Diamond of Vitality 20. So 20 extra hit points. Got my hit points up to 449. Pretty awesome. Still got the health plus 6 belt with that's the large guild slot on there that I have the extra spell points. Now, those guild slots aren't available anymore. If you don't have those already, it can be extremely hard to find and probably very expensive if you do. But there are a lot of creative things. You know, you could get a belt with a couple slots on there and do all sorts of things if you're a crafter. Moving on to the Cloak of Flames. This is also the level 15 version, fully upgraded and with the Shard of Masterful Craftsmanship, Combustion 90, phenomenal at level 13. Got heightened awareness 2, fire absorption 15%, and now this has got the fire shield hot proc on there as well. So when I get hit, it's going to proc a fire shield on me. Pretty cool. Still got the vibrant purple ion stone. This will be the last level I'll be wearing that because I'll be putting on the shamanic fetish at level 14. Still got the torque of Prince Rayum and the Supreme Tyrant green steel helm of Mineral 2. Lots of goodies on there. The shield's changed up a little bit. I don't need the invulnerability on there anymore because I've picked up elemental toughness. Now that I have fire elemental form, I can cast elemental toughness on myself, which gives me DR5 across the board, whereas invulnerability is DR5/magic, so that means that magical weapons overcome it. And at this level, there's more and more mobs that actually have magical weapons and are overcoming that DR anyway, so elemental toughness is a superior choice to invulnerability. I have this crafted onto a densewood shield with a blue slot, which I've slotted up with physical resistance 8, giving me some extra PRR. I'm up to PRR 72, and additional PRR is also because I swapped out Augment Summoning for Shield Mastery, so there's another 5 coming from there. And still got the green steel Lightning 2 Scimitar. Very, very nice weapon. So spells, as I mentioned, elemental toughness, really, really awesome. And then Body of the Sun, so huge. It is so powerful at level 13. You just become a walking firewall. It's so much fun. And I like to keep Extend spell just for this. I mean, at this point, you know, other than this spell, if it weren't for this spell, I could get rid of Extend because, you know, 13-minute buffs, long enough between shrines, generally speaking. But Body of the Sun, because it's a buff, it can be extended, so every casting is going to be a minute. And as I've talked about this before in other videos, this really stands up against Firewall. Well, it scales better than Firewall on its own. It doesn't it can't be maximized or empowered, but because it scales better on its own, the DPS keeps up with Firewall. And better than Firewall because it's cheaper to cast, it lasts longer, it moves with you, it can't be blown out by mephits and other irritating creatures like Thorak Hounds and, you know, anything else that casts gusts of wind, etc. Phenomenal spell. And then what's really cool is, like, if for some reason you want to do like uber DPS, you can throw down a Firewall and have this going at the same time. Just obliterates huge groups of mobs. And if you have a mix of mobs that have, you know, certain invulnerabilities, you can actually throw down an Ice Storm and have this going so that you've got the cold, bludgeoning, and fire damage all happening at the same time. Tons of fun. Let's see, also picked up an extra level 4 spell. I just picked up Dispel Magic. I won't use that until epic levels, and I will only use that basically to dispel spell wards. But didn't really have anything more interesting to put there. So, Fire Elemental form. let's talk about that for a minute. Let's pull it up here. They made some changes with the last update, and you no longer take penalties to your electricity spell while in fire elemental form. And I haven't looked at the text, but they were supposed to change the bonuses. Yeah, so now you get a +3 bonus to caster level and max caster level for fire spells. It was only +1 before. You get -3 penalty to caster level and max caster level to cold spells while you're in fire elemental form. But right now, Greater Creeping Cold is so powerful that you're not going to feel that loss. In addition to those bonuses, you also get a +10 racial bonus to fire resistance, -10 penalty to cold resistance, and then you have access to, like Body of the Sun can only be cast while you're in fire elemental form. In addition, in fire elemental and water elemental form, you get a +10 racial bonus to saving throws against magical poisons, racial immunity to natural poisons, sleep paralysis and stun, and a 100% fortification bonus. Really, really awesome. So you can see I'm sitting at big fort 210% right now. Nothing heroic is going to break through that. In fact, even very little epic is going to break through that. But by the time I cap, my fortification will be even a little bit higher than that. So this spell, this quest can be a little tricky to solo, especially if you're newer to it. Basically what you're trying to do is keep the mobs from destroying too many of these wagons. So what I like to do as a caster is just keep an AoE up on both ends. Another thing you want to watch out for is that casters are going to spawn up on these ridges here, and they're just going to blast these caravans, these wagons, with flame strike. So if you start seeing flame strikes happening, take a look up on these ledges, and it's tough to reach them with your spells if you don't have enlarge. So you kind of have to jump and cast when you're at the top of your jump. Don't bother buffing yourself in here because there are so many casters in here. They're going to debuff you anyways. What you can do is just make sure that you grab their aggro off of those wagons, and they'll follow you around. And if you're doing this on a Druid and you have Body of the Sun, they're just gonna, as they follow you, they're just gonna get eaten up by your Body of the Sun. Now you do have 2 shrines, one there and one over there. They can be tricky to use, but there are ways to make that a lot easier. And I'll show you when I get to that point. Just intimidate them off of the wagons, or let your Body of the Sun hit them, and then they'll aggro on you. This is just a time quest, 10 minutes, to make sure that at least 2 of the wagons survive. If you're not familiar with targeting a firewall, there you can hard target it. You can select a specific mob, like I'm gonna do the Scarl Raider here, and firewall always appears. If you hard target it like this, it always appears, I guess, perpendicular to your facing. So if I cast it like this, you can see it. There it is, perpendicular to where I'm facing. Oh, Snarl died. I'm not even paying attention. But if I make a 90-degree left turn and hit it, then you can see it. It casts the other way. Now, you can also just target it with your targeting reticle. Like that. again, perpendicular to the way that you're facing. Oh, I forgot to mention the shield too. I also put Devotion 30 on there just because I had some room to put something small on there. I could have put something like Command on there as well, but I thought I would get a little more tangible benefit out of having Devotion, even though I'm not casting a lot of healing spells right now because I'm mostly using heal scrolls to heal myself. I am up to a 85% chance to use, or 75%. Oh, that's teleport. 85% chance to use heal scroll. 75% on teleport, so that's pretty cool. There is no added benefit or XP bonus for not letting any of the wagons get destroyed, so you're just trying to keep at least 2 of them alive. I guess Snarl got a little more squishy without the augment summoning. I will want to bring him back to life though, once I decide to use that shrine, because he's going to be helpful in keeping the mobs off of me. So really it's just running back and forth end to end, making sure that there's some AoE keeping the aggro off of the wagons. Oh, there's a caster up there. Can't reach it. Alright, let's see if we can get Snarl up and keep him alive for a little bit. Throw a couple of fresh firewalls, or you can even not have them so as not to draw the aggro to you, but more than likely something is going to aggro on you. What I'm going to do here is get behind this shrine, and as I've mentioned in another video, whenever you're using a shrine, if you got mobs around, if you can get behind it, if you can put the shrine between you and the mobs, sometimes that can be that extra couple of seconds where it impedes them from getting to you. So you see I had no problem resting there. Oops, I don't need to buff. It's habit though. Three minutes left, and we just used the shrine, so looking good. Typically only have to use one shrine when I solo this. How can you not love being a walking firewall? It's amazing. It's one of the funnest Druid spells in my opinion. Don't use it a whole lot in epics, but sometimes. I stay in water ellie form for epics most of the time. there's a flame strike, and there's the caster up there. So who's a champion? That's okay. Greater creep and cold will take him right out. The one disadvantage that Body of the Sun has to Firewall is that it can be dispelled, as you just saw that caster dispelled it. I can't think of any other disadvantages compared to Firewall. And that is how you solo Elite at level Desert Caravan. Be a little tricky to get your chests, but just keep trying. It shouldn't be too bad, especially with if you have a higher AC. Most of the mobs are gonna be missing you. And don't try to recall out, because the mobs are gonna keep coming and keep attacking you. So you just want to talk to her, and she'll take you right out. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. If you have any questions about my build, you can respond on the DDO forums and the Druid forums. And if you happen to be on Sarlona, you are welcome to send me a tell.